Gloria Cross gently closed Elijah's bedroom door behind her, glancing nervously around as if afraid someone might overhear. Elijah sat up slowly in his bed, eyes tired, skin pale. Gloria sat beside him and softly took his hand. "Elijah," she began anxiously, squeezing his fingers gently. "We need to talk about Sierra." Elijah sighed, looking away toward the window. He'd expected this conversation, but had hoped it wouldn't come so soon. "What about her, Mom?" Gloria leaned forward, voice urgent yet gentle. "She's perfect, Elijah. She cares deeply for you. She's been by your side every day. She's exactly what our family needs right now." "Mom, please." He spoke softly, voice breaking slightly. "Just give me a few more days. I need to be sure." Gloria tightened her grip on his hand, her voice growing more firm, yet still gentle. "Our family legacy depends on this. Cross Industries needs stability, and Sierra can give us that." Elijah closed his eyes, exhausted. He knew the stakes. He had known them his whole life. Yet now, with so little time left, he wondered if duty alone was enough reason to marry someone he didn't fully trust. "Just a little longer, Mom," he whispered finally. "Let me see clearly first." Gloria nodded reluctantly, her eyes filled with worry but also understanding. She rose, leaned over and kissed Elijah gently on his forehead before quietly leaving the room. Elijah lay back, slowly, his heart heavy with questions and fears. His mind raced painfully between two faces, Sierra's dazzling smile and Nia's gentle eyes. Each represented something completely different. On one hand was Sierra. She appeared loyal, supportive, charming, exactly who his mother wanted him to marry. On the other was Nia, humble and genuine, the quiet girl who'd cared for him without ever asking for anything in return. Elijah knew deep down that Nia saw him as a real person, not a dying heir or a rich opportunity. He stood up slowly and walked weakly to the window, leaning against the cold glass. He whispered to himself, "Nia sees me. Sierra sees the legacy. How can I choose?" He felt guilty. Sierra had spent weeks by his side, publicly supportive and attentive. Yet his heart tugged strongly towards Nia, someone who had no public image to maintain, someone who simply cared. "I need to know for sure," he murmured. "I have to test them. Only then can I choose." Determined, Elijah decided he would carefully observe both women closely in the coming days. His mother's words echoed loudly. Legacy, stability, reputation. But the quiet whisper in his heart was louder. He needed truth, not appearances. As days passed, Elijah's health worsened rapidly. The mansion buzzed with quiet tension, and everyone moved carefully around him, aware of the fading clock. Elijah watched closely, noticing every gesture and word between Sierra and Nia. Sierra played her part perfectly. Every time guests visited, she sat next to Elijah, holding his hand, gently stroking his forehead, and always whispering sweet reassurances loud enough for others to hear. "I'll always be here, Elijah. You're my priority," Sierra said softly one afternoon, smiling warmly when his mother entered the room. Privately, Sierra's patience thinned. Late at night, alone in her room, she texted Malik restlessly. Text from Sierra. "How much longer? He's getting weaker every day. Soon, everything will be ours." Nia, however, moved quietly through Elijah's world without notice. She adjusted his pillows, brought meals when he couldn't eat, and sat silently next to him in peaceful companionship. She never asked for attention or reward. Her genuine care spoke louder than words. One evening, Elijah sat on the balcony wrapped in blankets, too weak to stand. Nia approached silently, bringing hot soup. Elijah coughed painfully, struggling to speak. "You don't have to talk," Nia whispered softly, kneeling beside him and placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Rest. I'm right here." Elijah felt something powerful stir within him. He saw clearly, perhaps for the first time, how deeply genuine Nia's care truly was. Yet he knew the world outside saw only Sierra's perfectly acted devotion. The choice seemed impossible. Sierra offered stability and reputation. Nia offered something deeper, real compassion and understanding. Elijah realized his test was revealing painful truths. One woman performed affection convincingly, but without heart. The other gave freely without expecting anything back. He sighed deeply, knowing soon he'd have to face the hardest decision of his life. The truth hurt, but illusions could kill the heart. Elijah sat quietly in the study, staring at family portraits covering the walls. He felt exhausted, trapped between his mother's demands and his own heart. Gloria walked in, her heels clicking against the marble floor, her face determined. "Elijah," she began firmly, "we can't delay anymore." He didn't look up immediately. He knew exactly what she would say. "I'm running out of time, Mom," Elijah whispered softly. "Can't I at least choose who I spend these last days with?" Gloria's expression softened slightly, but she quickly hardened her voice again. "This isn't just about you. It's about Cross Industries. It's about our family's name. Every delay weakens us." Elijah sighed deeply, the weight of his family's legacy heavy on his shoulders. "But what about my happiness?" he asked weakly. "Doesn't that matter at all?" Gloria placed her hand gently on his shoulder, her voice gentle but firm. "Happiness fades. Legacies don't. Sierra will keep our name alive. She's the right choice." Elijah looked into his mother's eyes. He saw worry, determination, and even fear. He knew she genuinely believed marrying Sierra was the right thing. But his heart ached at the thought. "What if I make the wrong choice?" he asked, voice barely audible. Gloria tightened her grip softly, reassuring him. "You won't. You've always known your duty. Now you just need to follow it." He felt trapped, torn between love and duty, between freedom and legacy. But seeing his mother's determined gaze, he felt too weak to fight anymore. He had always put family first. Finally, Elijah nodded slowly, defeated. "All right, Mom," he said quietly, resigned. "I'll marry Sierra for Cross Industries." Gloria smiled, relieved and triumphant, gently squeezing his shoulder before walking away to make arrangements. Elijah sat alone again, staring blankly into space. He whispered softly to himself, filled with sadness. "Forgive me, Nia." He knew he was betraying his own heart, but duty had won, at least for now. Nia walked slowly through the crowded streets, lost in thought. She felt unsettled, her heart heavy with Elijah's situation. Hoping to clear her mind, she decided to stop at a small coffee shop, her favorite quiet spot. Stepping inside, the comforting aroma of coffee immediately calmed her. She ordered her usual drink and found a table near the window, trying to distract herself by watching the bustling street outside. Suddenly, something caught her eye. She froze instantly. Across the street, clearly visible through the glass window of another cafe, was Sierra, laughing, hugging, and passionately kissing a tall man. Nia recognized him immediately from Sierra's phone. Malik. Nia felt a wave of shock and anger. Her heart raced painfully. As she watched the scene unfold, she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Without thinking, she quickly took out her phone, discreetly capturing several clear photos as proof. Hands trembling, she whispered to herself in disbelief. "Sierra? With another man?" Elijah needs to know. She didn't waste another second. Leaving her untouched coffee behind, she rushed back toward the Cross estate, her heart pounding rapidly with fear for Elijah. Arriving breathless, she hurried inside the mansion, looking for Elijah. Every step echoed loudly as she moved urgently through the halls. "Elijah?" she called softly, desperately trying not to alarm others in the house. "Elijah? Please, where are you?" She finally spotted him resting alone in the library, pale and weak. He looked up, surprised to see her so distressed. "Nia? What's wrong?" Elijah asked, concerned. Nia struggled to catch her breath, her voice shaking with urgency. "It's Sierra," she began anxiously, pulling out her phone. "She's lying to you. I saw her kissing another man. I have proof." Elijah stared at her, confusion and disbelief mixing painfully in his expression. He reached out weakly, trying to steady his own breathing. "What do you mean?" he whispered, clearly shaken. Before Nia could explain further, a sharp voice echoed loudly from the doorway. "What's going on here?" Gloria demanded harshly, eyes narrowing suspiciously. Nia's heart sank. She had no idea Gloria had been listening. Gloria marched quickly into the library, eyes blazing fiercely. "What nonsense are you spreading now, Nia?" she snapped angrily. Nia turned, startled, but stood firm. "I'm telling Elijah the truth," Nia pleaded, voice trembling. "Sierra is lying. She's cheating. Enough!" Gloria shouted angrily, cutting her off. "I heard everything. You're jealous, aren't you? You want Elijah's money and our name. You're making this up." Nia's eyes widened in shock, tears forming rapidly. "No!" she cried, desperately showing the pictures to Gloria. "Please, just look." Gloria pushed Nia's phone away sharply, without even glancing at the screen. "How dare you!" Gloria's voice echoed, cold and sharp. "You're nothing but the cook's. Daughter, you think Elijah would ever choose someone like you over Sierra?" Nia stepped back, devastated, tears streaming down her face. "Please," she begged weakly. "I'm telling the truth. Elijah deserves better." Gloria shook her head bitterly, voice dripping with disdain. "You're trying to trap my son. I won't let you poison his mind." Gloria snapped fiercely. "Get out of this house and never come back." Nia turned helplessly toward Elijah, silently pleading for support. But Elijah sat frozen, eyes filled with pain and confusion, unable to speak, her heart shattered completely. "Elijah, please," she whispered one last time, voice breaking painfully. But Elijah, weakened and confused, simply looked away, unable to meet her eyes. Heartbroken and humiliated, Nia ran out of the mansion, crying uncontrollably, Gloria's harsh words echoing painfully in her mind. Her world had just collapsed. Elijah remained motionless, trapped between his mother's anger, his own doubt, and a haunting sense of betrayal. Gloria softened slightly, seeing her son's distress, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder again. "Forget her lies, Elijah," she said softly yet firmly. "She's just another girl chasing wealth." Elijah closed his eyes, feeling numb and utterly defeated. The room fell into a heavy silence, broken only by Gloria's determined footsteps as she left. Elijah alone, torn apart once again. "Maybe Mom's right," Elijah whispered softly, defeated. "Maybe this is my fate. I'll marry Sierra, Mom, if that's what you think is best." Gloria nodded approvingly, squeezing his shoulder gently, believing she'd secured the family's future. As Gloria walked away, Elijah closed his eyes tightly, picturing Nia's gentle smile. He knew he'd betrayed his own heart, and the pain felt worse than death itself. Outside, beneath the fading sunset, Nia wiped her tears and walked slowly away, leaving her heart behind at the Cross estate forever. Sierra sat comfortably in her luxurious bedroom, holding a glass of wine, smiling confidently. She picked up her phone and quickly texted Malik. Sierra, texting Malik. Everything's perfect. He trusts me completely. A few moments passed. Then Malik replied, Malik? Text? Finally. Soon it's all ours. She smiled smugly to herself, already imagining her lavish life ahead. Money, power, freedom. Everything she'd ever dreamed of was within reach. Hearing footsteps outside her room, Sierra quickly hid her phone. She glanced into the mirror, checking her expression carefully. Her eyes softened, and her smile changed instantly from triumph to gentle sweetness. There was a gentle knock. Gloria entered, smiling warmly. Sierra, darling, Gloria said, genuinely pleased. Elijah has agreed. You'll marry soon. Sierra rose quickly, pretending surprise and joy. Oh, thank you. I promise I'll take good care of him, Sierra said sweetly. Gloria embraced her, unaware of the betrayal behind Sierra's flawless mask. As Gloria left, Sierra closed the door and returned to the mirror, her triumphant smile returning. Just a little longer, she whispered to herself, sipping her wine slowly. Then everything will be mine. Gloria hurried through the mansion, overseeing preparations with precise determination. The wedding was urgent now. Elijah's health worsened daily. Gloria instructed sternly, her voice commanding every detail. Everything must be perfect. Elijah deserves nothing less. She supervised the setting of tables covered in fine silk, gleaming silverware, and delicate china plates. Invitations went out quickly, calling powerful guests and influential business figures, securing the family legacy. But amidst all this elegant chaos, Elijah remained quiet, passive, and emotionally empty. He sat alone in his room, staring blankly out the window. His heart felt lifeless without Nia. Sierra frequently visited, playing the role of caring fiancé perfectly, holding his hand, smiling lovingly. But Elijah hardly noticed her now. Are you excited? She asked softly, forcing a tender smile. Elijah shrugged weakly, his voice hollow. I suppose. Her smile faded slightly, frustrated by his lack of enthusiasm, but quickly she hid it. Downstairs, Gloria noticed Elijah's distant mood. She reassured herself it was just nerves, nothing more. She convinced herself marrying Sierra was the right decision. As the wedding approached, Elijah felt himself disappearing deeper into emptiness. The only warmth he'd ever felt had left with Nia, and now nothing could fill that painful void. He whispered quietly to himself as the house buzzed loudly around him. What's the point of a beautiful wedding if my heart isn't there? Gloria, hearing laughter downstairs, felt satisfied everything was under control. Elijah's legacy was secure, the future clear. The Cross mansion bustled with excitement and nervous energy. Sierra stood in front of a mirror, admiring her reflection in an extravagant wedding gown glittering with diamonds. She smiled, imagining the wealth soon to be hers. Her phone buzzed, sharply, breaking her fantasy. Annoyed, Sierra picked it up and saw Malik's name. She quickly slipped out onto the balcony, angrily answering. What is it now? She snapped in a harsh whisper. Malik's voice burned with anger through the phone. We had a deal, Sierra. Don't think you can cut me out. Sierra gritted her teeth, keeping her voice low but icy. Calm down, Malik. I told you you'll get your share later. No more promises, Malik shouted angrily. You double-crossed me, Sierra, and I'll burn this whole thing down. Her heartbeat quickened, fury and fear battling inside her. "You ruin this now," Sierra hissed threateningly. "We both get nothing. Keep quiet, and soon we'll both be rich." A tense silence followed before Malik finally responded bitterly. "You better not be playing me, Sierra. If you cheat me, I'll destroy everything you've built." He hung up abruptly, leaving Sierra trembling slightly. She quickly composed herself, returning inside, forcing her expression back into perfect calmness. She took a deep breath, touching up her makeup carefully. Today, Elijah was going to marry the girl his mother chose, sacrificing his love. But would it be worth it when Sierra is already cheating and waiting for Elijah's death? Wait for Part 3 to uncover the mystery, and tell me, my besties, which character is your favorite, and why? In the comment below. See you tomorrow.